Hey there, folks. Welcome back to Star Wars Galaxy Heroes Day by Day. Thanks for being here. Guys, can we stop letting stuff break our brain? Okay? I just talked about this on the free-to-play episode. Just breathe. People love obsessing about stuff. Even me. And it's hard not to. I've mentioned this before. I used to be a very big college football fan of my favorite team. And then things happened. And, when they were really good, they were really good. And it would physically hurt me when they lost. And then I kind of came to a point, I'm like, why am I letting this control me? And subsequently, that's kind of when they started not being so good. And consequently, I don't hurt because I'm not super emotionally invested in that football team anymore. Do I care if, does it make me feel a little better when they win? Sure. But do I lose sleep over it if they don't win? No. No. I mean, you can do that with everything. How many people want to obsess over, if you watch football, how many people want to obsess about, is that a catch or not? You know? It's like, I watched this video of, I guess people were watching a game over the weekend in the airport or something. At least that's what it looked like. And this game, you know, there's what, I don't know how much time left on the clock, and the one team has just grabbed the other lead, has just grabbed the lead, and it just, the montage is of fans of this team that had just grabbed the lead late in the fourth quarter, and then they're all excited, and then they watch the final play. What happens on the final play? And the next thing you know, because of the outcome of the final play, they're demoralized. It's like, what if you just played the game to play it? Like all you like you guys who I asked about the Zeta challenge. I get it. I get it. Hey, put Zetas on, crackling doom on Palpy. You put no escape on Vader, and put the things on Wampa and whatever else I ended up doing. I get that. I get it. I get it. And guys, here's something that might aggravate you a little bit. And I get it. But I want you to go on a trip with me. It's called What If We Did? What if we just decided to do Jawas? Not for any particular reason, but just for something to do. Because yes, Jawas are not great. Well, what if we just did them anyway? People are freaking out over this tie dagger buff. And I get it, punishing one is not supposed to do to beat the Leviathan. But guess what? And I don't think CG understands this. And you can choose to be on either side of this argument. You could choose to be upset about everybody that's got the Leviathan and who was losing their poop, that the punishing one was that they were starting to lose to the punishing one. Or you just play the game. And what did CG do? They come in and announce that they're going to buff the tie dagger to where any ship, even capital ships that are not Sith, don't gain turn meter. So that every possible counter out there, and this was primarily affecting a Chimera counter, and the gerbil, and I was watching Rabid Beaver, and he was like, "How I gotta go farm the Bad Batch because I have to have another fleet to be able to throw up there. I gotta have another fleet to throw on defense because now I have to take all of my fleets on offense." And it's like, that's why I've said, and I don't know that I've voiced this, but it's like fleets matter. And I was actually thinking about this the other day, and I know I sounded like a liar, but I swear to you I was. I was thinking, what if people just built pilots? What if I just finished whatever I'm working on, which are the Geos, and finished the Night Sisters, and instead of going after whatever here, instead of going after the Revens, which I was thinking about doing next, what if I just went and did pilots of ships? And please understand me, I'm nowhere close to being able to do hard conquest on any of my accounts. Well, I'm getting close on the Hyperlight, but I can't. I can't. My CLS team on the Hyperlight is almost all Relic 7. But that's just one team. So and that'll help me get through the cat event and whatever else event, I guess. But it's like, how long is it going to be? How many teams am I going to have to build up for me to get through cat? For me to be able to get through Maul? For me to be able to get through whoever's after Maul? And then on, and then pick up the Scythe, and then pick up the Fury Class Interceptor, and then pick up Malgus. How long is it going to take? And for CG just to say, hey, we're going to buff the crap out of the TIE Dagger. The way they did, it's frustrating. And you can let it bust your brain, or you can just not let it bust your brain and just move on with your life. And just be like, well, I guess I'll have to figure out some other way to do it. Because of course what they're trying to do is get you to spend money And so that you want to get the Leviathan, so that you want it because you want it and you need it. Just like they're doing with Balin, just like they're going to be doing with Sabine. Balin's coming, by the way, in case you didn't know. That's how this game survives, because it's, like it or not, guys, this game is a game that's created by flawed individuals. We're driven by money. And who who may or may not understand that elections have consequences, because, inflation and all that. And it's like, well, and it's like I said in my free-to-play video, where I am, we have all these school levies that are on the ballot here in a couple days. And maybe, I don't know, depending on when I get this video out, maybe the thing will have already done and been gone by the time I get around to publishing this video. But it's like, I don't understand why people like voting to give to give the government more money. It's like when you go to church, if you're a believer, there's a choice there. And I know, if you don't go to church, you don't understand it. But when you go to church and they pass the plate, you don't have to give. Nobody's going to think anything less of you if you don't give. And the only reason why you're giving is because if you believe, then that's what you're taught to do. But it's like that's one thing. And when we're talking about taxes and people voting for taxes, if I don't vote for it, but everybody else and their mom does, I still have to pay the tax. And this is a property tax. And that would be fine if there was if I didn't have to pay sales tax to the store, if I didn't have to pay, if when I went and if I didn't have to pay taxes on services, if I don't have to, every time I ordered something from Amazon, I didn't have to pay a tax. If I didn't have to pay a tax when I go and renew my driver's license or get a new tags or whatever, that would be fine. Or if I didn't get withholding tax from my paycheck, that would be fine, because then I would have more money to pay into this property tax. But it's like, this is a crazy idea. What if you want to fund that school levy, how about you go give more money to the school board instead of making me pay that? I mean, it's just asinine. I mean, I just don't vote for taxes, because it's like, okay, if you or I could afford it, that's fine. Well, what if I can't afford it? Or I don't want to, This isn't like church, where it's like, because I believe I want to give. This is like, even though I don't want to give, I'm still being made to give. Which is why I never vote for taxes. And I try my best not to vote for candidates that want to add taxes. Why? Because I don't know. Maybe some of you have heard this line before. Taxation is theft. That's where I am. That's where I am. It could be. I could be wrong. I'll admit that. I don't know. I mean, just if you don't want to play the game, don't play the game. But one thing I will tell you to do is don't vote. Just don't vote for a tax. If you want to give more money to if you want to give more money to the government, go right ahead. I'll give mine to the church. I won't, and here's the deal. I won't ask you to give to the church unless you want to. If you want to go to the church and you want to give money to the church, that's fine. But I'm not going to make you. And I know I'm a little bit off topic with the whole thing about CG, but it's like I guess what I'm trying to say is chase the fun with. I mean, if you're going to let this thing with the side dagger break you, maybe it's time to move on. And this is why I refuse to, this series that I'm doing that's now 150 whatever episodes long, The Road to Leia. I'll get there eventually. But this is why I don't rush GLs, A, because I don't care enough about the GL characters themselves. And secondly, I don't care about GAC. Because there's always going to be crap like this. There's always going to be crap like this coming up. With a ship that was supposed to help the executor, help it with profundity, and it ended up, because CG didn't test it, it now does too well against the Leviathan. And so guess what? Unless you have the Leviathan, now you don't have Jack. The profundity doesn't work against it. Nothing works against it. Who cares that you found an off-meta counter with the Chimera? Nobody cares about that. So if you need to move on because of this nerf, it's okay. I get it. CG is trying to get you to spend more money. You can decide, do you want to spend money for the Leviathan? Or do you just want to play the game and realize that, you know what? I was mad about this game, but then I realized it's just a game. I mean, I don't know. If you're one of those people that like Rapid Beaver said that he used to wish there was more things to do. And now because he's running 3 accounts, he's like, I don't have enough time. And some of you guys are amazed that I have so much time. It's like, I realize that it's just a game. And then if I don't play this game anymore, I'll be okay. And so will you. And so will you. But that's what a lot of people haven't figured out. It's just like, I mean, Gerbil would say, I mean, Gerbil, I'm gonna miss Gerbil, honestly. But it's like, chase the fun. Don't worry about the meta. Just play the game for fun. That's the reason I love that home one thing that I keep talking about with fleets that uses the Raven's Claw, which everybody else thinks is garbage, and it's like, you just, but the Gerbil just found that out, and it works. And you can either let it brush your brain, like people do with a certain candidate, or you can just realize, just turn off the TV. Go outside. I mean, I'm thinking about having my son build some woodworking stuff next year with his grandpa, and maybe me. Because I don't want him to be in this cycle. I think I've talked a little bit about the homesteaders that I watch that live outside of Nashville. I mean, outside of Asheville. Shout out to Sow the Land, by the way. I watched that and I'm like, if I had some land, that would totally be awesome. And they live in North Carolina, which it's a little bit more warmer than it is here where I live in the Midwest. Because they're about they're probably 400 or 500 miles, so 400 or 500 miles south of where I am. Maybe, yeah, somewhere around that. And it's like, and they just, that he's out building stuff every day, and he's, sure he's moving his GoPro around. I'm sure he's got to spend time editing the video. But other than that, he's doing stuff. He's growing food. He's teaching other people how to grow food and do stuff. And I'm like, if all this went away, that'd be something fun to do instead of worrying about all of this stupid stuff. And that's lost. And that's what I'm going to try to teach my son. Because if not, where are we going to end up? Anyway, I don't even know what I did today. I was just doing stuff. I'm like, okay, let's talk about this and that and the other thing. But anyway, if you have questions, let me know. If you think I'm a moron, that's fine. I've been called worse by other people, I'm sure. And I'm sure it'll happen again. But anyway, God bless. Hold the line, and I will see you next time, tomorrow, hopefully. And God bless. Bye.